stripping women of our rights to oppose or even question out loud a naked man, fully intact with male genitalia, undressing inches away from where we were simultaneously unclothed, is considered progress to Kamala Harris. We have an entire political party, at least in terms of elected representation, who believe you can change your sex as often as you change your socks. Recently in the U.S. House, the Protection of Women and Girls in Sports Act fell entirely on party lines, meaning all 219 Republicans voted in favor of protecting women and girls in sports, and all 203, every single last one of them, mothers and fathers of their own young daughters, all 203 Democrats voted in opposition of protecting women and girls in sports. But how can this be? The Democratic Party claims to be the party of and for women. They pride themselves on it. My question for Democratic leadership is, how can you defend what you can't even define? A little background on me. I started swimming when I was 4 years old, graduated at 22, so dedicated 18 years of my life to my sport. It's impossible to put into words the amount of time, the dedication, the sacrifices that you have to make, that you have to be willing to make. Just 2 years ago, I was a college student studying and competing at the University of Kentucky. I very proudly finished my career as a 12-time NCAA All-American, a 5-time SEC champion, the SEC record holder in the 200 butterfly, making me one of the fastest Americans of all time, 2-time Olympic trial qualifier, SEC Scholar Athlete of the Year, SEC Community Service Leader of the Year. The list goes on, but again, just to reiterate, it's a lifelong journey to compete and ultimately be successful at that level. My senior year in college, I had a goal of winning a national title, which would mean becoming the fastest woman in the country. And I was on pace to achieve this goal until the NCAA, with the backing of elected Democrats, allowed a 6'4" man, less than mediocre man, might I add, competing in his rightful category, to swim against me and my teammates at our national championship. I got to personally witness and really feel the effect that this infringement, or what I would call an injustice, had on me and my teammates. I can wholeheartedly attest to the tears that I saw, not just the tears from the moms watching in the stands as their daughters are being obliterated in their sport, but the tears from the girls who placed 9th and 17th and missed out on being named an All-American by 1 place. I can wholeheartedly attest to the whispers, because that's what they were whispers of anger and frustration from those girls who, just like myself, had worked our entire lives to be there. I can attest to the extreme discomfort that we felt in the locker room. Put yourself, better yet, put your daughters in our shoes. You're putting on your racing suit, which takes about 15 to 20 minutes of which you're fully exposed. You have your back turned, and all of a sudden you hear a man's voice in that locker room. You turn around, you look up, and you see a 6'4" man towering over every other girl in that locker room, stripping down naked, exposing himself. Let me be clear. We were not asked for our consent. We did not give our consent. There are no words to describe the violation, to describe the betrayal that we felt by people who were supposed to be protecting us, whose job it was to protect us. I watched a male swim to a national title in the 500, beating out Olympians, Olympic medalists, the most impressive and accomplished female swimmers this world has ever seen, by body lengths, might I add. He and I raced in the 200 free, which, almost impossibly enough, resulted in a tie down to the 100th of a second. But despite tying, the NCAA official told me that I didn't get to take the trophy home. I didn't get to pose with the trophy, because they had been advised that it was necessary that he held the trophy when pictures were being taken, reducing everything that we had worked our entire lives for down to a photo op to validate the feelings and the identity of a man at the expense of our own. And that is the pivotal moment when I was no longer willing to wait for someone else to stand up for me, my teammates. It was in that moment I realized I had to stand up for myself. What we experience and what girls around the country continue to face is antithetical to the progress Title IX made for women and girls over the past 52 years. Title IX is, of course, the federal civil rights law that at one point prevented sex-based discrimination on any educational program that received federal funding. I say at one point because as of the beginning of this month, Title IX is officially no more. The Biden-Harris administration has effectively abolished Title IX in its original intent. What happened to us at that national championships? The unfair competition, the locker room, the silencing, the muzzling of our voices that we experience as women is what Kamala Harris, Tim Walz, and the rest of the Democratic Party leadership calls progress. Let that sink in. When President Trump released his platform, I was thrilled to see issue number 17 in big, bold, capital letters, "Keep men out of women's sports." Which is timely. It's timely considering what we saw at the Olympics with 2 male athletes stealing Olympic gold medals from women in boxing, the recent Supreme Court win. But now for President Trump, this is personal. His beautiful granddaughter, Kai, has just received a scholarship to continue her academic and athletic career, her golf career at University of Miami. Although I do think she could probably take her grandpa on 18 holes, I wish her all the best and will certainly be following her career and cheering her on. Bottom line is this should not be a political issue. Your daughter's safety, your daughter's opportunities to achieve and succeed, it shouldn't be a political or a controversial statement to say that your daughter deserves privacy in areas of undressing. The choice we have in November is normal versus crazy. You have one ticket that is America first, compared to the other that are globalist. You have one ticket that wants secure borders compared to the other that wants open borders. You have one ticket that knows what a woman is and has vowed to take decisive action in protecting our sex-based rights, compared to the other ticket that thinks men can become pregnant and that tampons belong in boys' bathrooms. I see on social media people saying they're voting for Kamala Harris because she's a woman. Well, guess what? I am voting for Donald J. Trump because I am a woman.